Isabelle, Brasseur, and Lloyd.
Well, the roar came up before they were even introduced here. The Olympic bronze medalists, Brasseur and Eisler, they came here to be first, but I don't think this is what they had in mind, drawing first of the 20 pairs in the competition. And many of the fans have signs urging them to kick butt in reference to Lloyd's comments with Ron McLean following their performance in Albertville.
Well, their coach, Jose Picard, has said that they had a really tough 3 weeks when they went home. It's really tough to get motivated to come here. They've had some inconsistency in the practices here, and we know that it's all going to come down to the side-by-side double axels.
Wow. No matter what they're remembered for in terms of these double axels, that is the best twist in the world. And as you can tell from the roar in this audience, that is something that everyone in this house wanted to see happen.
About it, they're back.
Well, Barbara, we can well attest to, there's no better feeling than what they're experiencing right now. We experienced a disappointing Olympics to come back and skate well at the World Championships. And for Isabelle and Herb, I'm sure they are just feeling ecstatic.
Watch the height on this twist. He slapped his hand at his side. Just the most amazing twist you'll ever see. And here come the double axel. She performed this with absolutely no hesitation. Right through, right there, great unison.
Good timing, great unison. This now really presents the judges panel with a challenge. Here's the #3 ranked team from Olympics, the silver medalist from last year's World Championship, and I think anything less than 5.7s and 5.8s up on that board is going to be an undermarked performance.
One more, okay, one more.
Plenty of emotion down there as they're greeted by Coach Jose Picard. And I'll tell you, what about the psychology of this sport? They practiced so well before the Olympics, but they didn't deliver. Here, Isabelle's had all kinds of problems in the warm-up, in the practices, and we weren't sure what to expect.
Well, when we heard that they had drawn first to skate, we all kind of wondered, what this would do, but I think this has been a benefit to them because they just came on and banged this program off without any hesitation.
John, I knew we could do it.
Well, they now put the pressure on everyone to follow because they've laid down a clean performance, and yes, those are great. Look at those marks.
Who cares? Required elements. Lloyd said, who cares? He knows they put in the performance they wanted. 5 7s and a 5-8 from the British judge.
Well, they have by far the best twist in the competition, the most difficult lift. Everything out there tonight was performed with unison. The spins had great unison. I think that was probably a performance of their life.
Interesting, the British judge flips now, gives them the lowest mark in the presentation. The rest are 5-8. What an outstanding set of marks to open the competition. And with more on what to watch for tonight, here's Sandra Bezic with the cutting edge. Well, the pressure of the Olympic Games certainly didn't bother these youngsters, Sherry Ball and Chris Wirtz. Here they are at the World Championships now. Their goal is a top 10 finish. That's a tough act to follow from Brasseur and Eisler.
Well, I think the opportunity for this team to move into the top 10 is very good. We've had a retirement since Olympics. Raschenbach and Watzel from Germany are not here. And if Chris and Sherry can skate as well as they skated at the Olympics, I think they could make that top 10.
Side-by-side double axels.
Not quite the unison of Brasseur and Eisler, but a clean executed element nonetheless.
Sherry's had an injury since the Olympics and actually has had to take it a little bit easy on her single jumping. But everything seems fine now. Sherry and Chris's first Worlds. What I love about these two is their smiles. They look like they're enjoying it all the time. And actually, we had a chance to work with them prior to the World Championships, and it comes out in their practice as well. They really love what they're doing.
Well, the thing that impresses me the most as we watch their side-by-side double axels, which was one of their nicer elements, a little bit of a unison problem, but nonetheless executed, is the fact that they're so consistent. We've seen them now do 3 performances at very high level of world competition. Here we look at their split double twist. Not one of their better elements, but I think with time this will come. This team has not been skating together that long, but their consistency is so impressive. They've gone out and done 3 performances now that I have seen live, and they've been wonderful.
It bears repeating. They were 7th at last year's national championship, so this really has been a Cinderella year, and it continues with that set of required element marks. 5-2 from France and Switzerland, and the United States as well. They were 11th after the original program at the Olympic Games, 12th overall.
There they are with their coach, Paul Wirtz, who is Chris's older brother.
Much better.
I didn't know if you did 2 or 2 because you said 2 and then you went 3.
And there are the second set of marks for Paul and Wirtz. And another fine showing for the young Canadian pair.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Representing Canada, Christine Hough and Doug Ladret.
Well, perhaps the most popular original program in the pairs competition at the Olympics was turned in by Christine Hough and Doug Ladret. They were 9th at the Olympics. This is their 5th and final World Championship. Their best finish was 6th in 1990. Last year, 11th in Munich.
Well, this program was designed by Sandra Bezic, and it's not designed around the elements, but it's designed to leave an overall impression.
Unfortunately, Christine having difficulties with the double Lutz is certainly going to affect the required element mark. Not only would they have been starting from a lower base mark because the double Lutz is significantly easier or less difficult than the side-by-side double axel, and then to have missed it, I think, is certainly going to hurt them.
It's really a shame that one element has to make such a difference, because except for double axels, this team has everything that it takes to be the top 5 in the world. Now on the double Lutz, what she doesn't quite get enough height, she's on a lean and can't quite get her free leg out in time to land.
I'm wondering if she doesn't get enough height because she didn't have enough speed. But this back outside desperal is perhaps one of the nicest we're going to see here in the pair's original programs this evening. And I think it's one of the hardest to make pretty because of the position that the girl is in. Wonderful extension from Christine. and it has a lot of rotation. That's one of the things the judges are looking for.
There they are with Coach Kerry Leach, and they must feel like they're skating in Canada. This crowd is really pro-Canadian. The Oakland Alameda County Coliseum almost full to capacity, and there's more red and white than anything else here. The fans have been great, and 3 of the first 4 pairs Canadian, so you get that whole Canadian feel.
Well, I fear that with the time the judges are taking to get this set of marks up, that Christine and Doug could actually find themselves as the 3rd-ranked Canadian pair after this original program.
And you know, if they could do double axels, this would probably be a top 5 team in the world.
Well, there's a mix on the board. 4-3 from the Polish judge. 5.1 from the Swiss judge for required elements. Second set of marks should be much higher. And they are up to a 5.5 from the Swiss judge, who has them rated second. They have 2 third-place marks, 2 second-place marks, the rest 4th-place mark for Canadians Hough and Ladret. And right now, let's go backstage to Brian Williams.
Vadim Naumov.
5th at the World Championships last year and 5th at the Olympic Games in Albertville. Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov of the Commonwealth of Independent States. And although they were 5th, they were really in medal contention in Albertville.
What I love most about this team is their unison, their extensions, and the way they just seem to float across the ice.
As they finish this program with their forward inside death spiral, this might sound strange, but this team almost makes it look too easy. They skate it to a piece of music, Take 5 by Dave Brubeck, which makes you sit back, relax. They move effortlessly from one element to the next. They execute them all cleanly, well-matched, good unison. They make it look too easy.
Here's a look at the double axels. Quite a bit of distance between them, but they do execute the element. you're right, Paul. I think they do make it look a little bit too easy.
Just watch this side-by-side pair spin. The unison is exquisite. They move at the same time, change position at the same time. And this is perhaps one of the most difficult elements of pair skating, is to keep side-by-side spins matched in unison.
And she is really just like a feather out there on the ice. He throws her into the air on the twist. He lifts her as though she weighs about 50 pounds. I don't think she's much more than that, but she really looks like a feather out there. She looks very light on her feet.
Actually 4'11", 86 pounds. 19-year-old Evgenia Shishkova, Vadim Naumov, 23 next month. She is the cousin of Natalia Krestyanova, who we saw at the World Junior Championships, a 3-time World Junior Pairs champion, along with Alexei Torchinsky. Maybe there's a message in the music Take 5 because they've been 5th at the last 2 international championships, but that performance could help move them up a spot or 2. And the first set of marks would indicate that. 5-4 up to 5-6s from Switzerland and Australia. And the presentation marks even higher. They have second place marks from 7 of the 9 judges. Only the American judge and the Polish judge have them 3rd, so Shishkova and Naumov move into 2nd place behind Brasseur and Eisler.
Representing the Commonwealth of Independent States, Natalia, Mishkutenok, and Artur Dmitriev.
Well, it's a pro-Canadian and pro-American crowd, but the Olympic gold medalists and defending world champions from the CIS get quite an ovation. Natalia Mishkutenok and Artur Dmitriev.
Well, so far we have seen a totally different event from that which we saw in Albertville, and I hope the trend can continue for this team, because it would certainly set up for just the most exciting final in the pairs free.
The double twist. The next element is the side-by-side double axel, which Natalia has had problems with this week and on the warm-up. She just squeaked that out. I wasn't sure. I couldn't quite tell if she touched down or not.
Well, if I'm a judge sitting on the panel on my technical merit mark, I've got to place Isabelle and her better. They have a stronger twist, they have a better lift, and tonight I thought they executed a stronger side-by-side double axel. The challenge for the judges will be, they will now have to sit there and think back to the performance of Brasseur and Eisler, compare it, and judge for themselves.
Here's a look at those double axels. Let's see if she did touch down. Takes off a little later, doesn't quite get enough height, and it looks very close. But the question will be from the angle of the judges, will they be able to have seen that touchdown? From our angle, we could see it.
Here we're looking at their pair spin, which was one of the 8 elements all the teams must execute here in the original program, and it is one of, if not the best pair spin in the pairs competition here in Oakland. Very unique position, something that no other team has here.
Well, the deduction for a 2-foot jump is a .2. So if the judges did happen to see it,
or think they saw it,
then they'll need to deduct at least a .2 for that. As well, I didn't think that the spins had as good a unison as they have had before.
There's their coach, Tamara Moshkina, and there is the first set of marks. 5.6 up to 5.8.
I think at this point we have to remind everyone that going into the long program, of the teams that place in the top 3, whoever wins the long will win the event.
Second set of marks, 5.9s, but for Germany, so Mishkutenok and Dmitriev are the leaders ahead of Brasseur and Eisler at the moment. They have 8 first-place marks. Only the American judge has them second after Brasseur and Eisler. We'll be back with more of the pair's original program. Just beaten out for a medal at the Olympic Games by Brasseur and Eisler. In 4th place in Albertville, here are Radka, Kovaříková, and René Novotný, the Czechoslovakian national champions.
Well, it was so important for Isabelle and Lloyd to come out and skate as well as they did this evening, because this particular team has been practicing very, very well, and there's been a lot of talk that perhaps they should have been the bronze medalist in Albertville, and so the challenge has been put to them to prove that they deserve to be on the podium.
Double twist. Now they're coming into the side-by-side double axel. She squeaked that one out. She had a really bent skating leg, but it didn't look like as though she had touched the ice with her 3 foot. Georgieva-like quality to her. She's really lovely to watch.
Her coach, Jan Bartok, said that he felt she could skate in any discipline at the international level.
Here's a look at the double axels. Watch her bend her leg, and she fights for that jump, and she gets it out. Here's a look at their overhead lift, a beautiful position. You never see her without a pointed toe. She looks like she's had a lot of ballet training.
Well, this event, with these being the last skaters of the evening, is a far cry from this very same event that we saw in Albertville 3.5 weeks ago. I think all of these skaters have given performances that they wanted to give at Albertville, but for the various things that go into going in and competing in Olympic Games, mostly the pressure, they couldn't. But it's nice to see them all deliver here this evening.
In Albertville, they showed us how tough the elements really are, and tonight they've showed us how easy they can make them look. Interesting age difference here, like the combination of Kachiki San, Kachiki 15, San 28. Novotny's 28, and Radka just turned 17 a couple of days following the Winter Olympics.
For required elements.
These are critical marks because they may or may not be in medal contention. Those marks look pretty good. They've had an ongoing battle throughout their career with Shishkova and Naumov. They seem to be either one step ahead or one behind that young Russian team. And these marks looking similar again.
5.6.
Another great set of marks, up to a 5.8 from the Swiss judge. They have 5 third-place marks, make that 6, and 3 fourth-place marks. So Kovaříková and Novotný have moved into third and have bumped Shishkova and Naumov to fourth. So the standings after the Bears' original program: Mishkutenok and Dmitriev lead, Brasseur and Eisler second, the Czechoslovakians third. Canadians Ball and Wirtz are 10th, Hough and Ladret in 12th spot. Coliseum for the final flight of pair skaters. And first up, from Czechoslovakia, Radka, Kovaříková and René Novotný, currently in third place, looking for their first major international medal. They've been the hard luck kids, fourth at the Olympics, fourth the last 2 years at the European Championships.
Well, this was the team that so many people thought perhaps should have placed third at the Olympic Games instead of Isabelle and Lloyd. They had a small problem in the original program, and they have the opportunity to lay down a performance that all other competitors in this group will have to chase, and they lay it down early.
Opening triple toe loops.
To hang on to the landing of that throw triple toe, but she did hang on.
team is sitting in third place. They are in a position to win. It will all come down to the performances of Brasseur and Eisler and Mishkutenok and Dmitriev. But this team has really gone all out here today, and except for one small error where she two-footed a throw, it's been a great performance.
Well, Barb, next to Mishkutenok and Dmitriev, who are to skate next, this to me is perhaps one of the best choreographed performances in the pairs event. The music utilization has been very good, and they've interpreted it very well, and it's been a delight to watch this performance develop. Has an exquisite look about her that you can't help but enjoy.
Well, they were unable to seize the moment at the Olympic Games when a medal was within their grasp, but they've made the most of this. Kovaříková and Novotný will be back with their marks after this. Here are the first set of marks for Kovaříková and Novotný. 5-5 from the German judge, up to 5-8 from France and Switzerland. Now the critical second set of marks. There they are, 5-6 from the CIS up to 5-8. They have 7 first-place marks, 2 second-place marks so far, and Kovaříková and Novotný are the current leaders, but again, 3 skaters to go and plenty of room there. So a precarious situation for them as they must wait. Here are the Olympic gold medalists, defending world champion, Natalia, Mishkutenok, Artur, Dmitriev, leaders after the original program. And of course, the now very familiar and popular Dreams of Love.
I spoke to their coach, Tamara Moskvina, just moments before they went on the ice for warm-up. I asked her how she felt, and she said, I feel very nervous because I feel that history might repeat itself.
And she, of course, referring to 1984 when Underhill and Martini won the World Championships, defeating her team of Belova and Vasilyev.
Side-by-side triple toes. There was a unison problem. They weren't quite in sync, but nicely done.
And everybody at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum is on their feet.
Well, this to me is what pair skating is all about. And certainly this was even a better performance than they put on to win the Olympic gold medal.
Well, like so many other competitors, they're much more relaxed.
Watch this throw triple toe loop. Everything was landed very cleanly. They look so sure of themselves out there.
If I had to pick one thing about them that I could not, it is their lifts. This is a very well executed lift, but the degree of difficulty is minimal. She's in a position which is very safe, and therefore I find, like I said, if I had to pick one thing, it would be the degree of difficulty of their lift. But the program is so exquisitely choreographed that you don't notice it.
Well, they just float from one element to the next.
The loudest and longest ovation we've had so far, but those marks not as high as you might have expected. 5.7s from the United States judge as well as the Australian. Up to 5.9s, but there is room. They've left room for Brasseur and Eisler. At least the technical marks, but holy smokes, look at that. 4 perfect 6s for artistic impression. They've all but locked up another gold medal. Well, the Protopovas first skated Dreams of Love. Coach Tamara Moskvina felt her young pair could do it justice as well, and she was so right. We'll be back with Brasseur and Eisler after this. Our location and the entire Canadian team up here cheering on. Lloyd Eisler, Isabelle Brasseur. So Jackie Peter leading the cheers. The silver medalist the last 2 years at the World Championships.
Well, Isabelle's been having trouble with her confidence all week long, and last night after their spectacular original program, it just went up by leaps and bounds, so hopefully it can carry over into this performance.
I've noticed anything off the top, Lloyd appears to be a little bit more relaxed, and I think that's critical for this team because sometimes he gets so pumped, he puts this girl up so high and throws her so far they can't control it.
Here's the critical double axel.
Lift is most impressive. It is a straight press lift, but not only is it difficult for him, it's difficult for her because she has to establish her position and lock it in. That could have been the margin of error right there. between the fall and the throw, and that fall in the last 10 seconds of the performance slammed the door. There's no way they're going to win a gold medal here tonight.
Well, the first one cost them gold, but that second mistake, will it cost them silver?
Well, the performance certainly started out as though they were excited. They knew coming out that the judges panel had left them marks to move into first place, but after the error in the Salchow, it disappeared.
Watch the height on this twist. Just amazing. The best one out there.
And the mistake in this throw, triple Salchow, was the gold medal. She simply was not broken out soon enough and in the correct position to land the throw, and falls on it, and the chance to be number one evaporated.
It looked so close. It looked like they had it there.
You don't know?
And it looked like maybe at the very end of the program, she just maybe lost concentration towards the end.
As they were skating off the ice, it looked like Isabelle was getting down on herself, and Lloyd tapped her on the head as if to say, don't be silly.
You tried to just be pretty about it.
Well, as you mentioned, Chris, to retain silver, we will now have to wait and see how Shishkova and Naumov perform.
Far more dynamic program than Kovaříková and Novotný. Nevertheless, two mistakes now that the Czechoslovakians didn't make. And here come the marks. 5, 6s, 7s, and 8s, technically.
5.8, 5.7, 5.7, 5.6, and 5.8.
Well, they'll have to come up for them to hold on to this second place that they held coming into the original program. The second set of marks, and Lloyd's reaction says it all. He's not even hanging around. Well, they won't be able to match their silver medal performances of the last 2 years with these marks, and now even bronze is in doubt. Brasseur and Eisler have dropped to third. We'll be back with the final pair, Shishkova and Naumov, when we return to Oakland. Shishkova and Vadim Naumov of the CIS, fourth after the original program. Bronze medalists the last 2 years at the European Championships, and they have a chance for the bronze here after that skate by Brasseur and Eisler.
An excellent opportunity it is, because this team is very consistent. They might not be the most exciting, but they certainly are one of the most consistent teams in the competition.
Other than the problem on the opening side-by-side triple toes, they're skating very cleanly.
individual jumps, this was a well-skated performance.
I thought that Isabelle and Lloyd beat these two on their sheer excitement of their skating. But what this couple has is amazing unison and extension. They're true pair skaters. Very good unison.
This is one of the few difficulties that they had, the opening side-by-side triple toes. She doesn't push through, drops her right side, touches down, but recovers quickly.
Here's the throw triple toe loop. Good height and a very clean landing. All the throws and lifts were very cleanly done, and he handles her as though she's a feather.
This program choreographically and emotionally is not that of Mishkutenok and Dmitriev or even of the Czechs. But as you said, Barb, one cannot ignore the unison that this team has because it is amongst the best of all the pair teams here at the World Championships.
Coached by Ludmila Velikova. She almost looked apologetically at him when it was all over because it's her two small mistakes that may stand between them and the podium. Brasseur and Eisler on the bubble here. Mishkutenok and Dmitriev have won. And those marks start at 5-3 up to 5-7. And this will be close. I think she's afraid to look.
Thank you.
Well, it's almost as though the two teams after Mishkutenok and Dmitriev realized they had an opportunity and they missed it.
Here are the artistic marks. They have a third place mark from France, a third place mark from Switzerland, fourth place from Czechoslovakia, but the rest are fifths. But for Poland, who has them seated sixth, so Shishkova and Naumov are fifth, and so Brasseur and Eisler do hang on for the bronze. We'll be back with the medal ceremony from Oakland Coliseum for the medal presentation and a bittersweet moment for Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. Bronze medalists at the Olympic Games and bronze medalists here at the World Championships after silver the past 2 years. And there are the gold medalists, Natalia, Mishkutenok, and Artur Dmitriev. Now two-time world champions and Olympic gold medalists. And the silver goes to the Czechoslovakian team. René, Novotný, and Radka, Kovaříková have been the hard luck kids over the last year or two, but at last are on the medal podium. Well, they desperately wanted to redeem themselves here. They have to settle for bronze. Back with final thoughts from Oakland after this. Mishkutenok and Dmitriev are the gold medalists. Kovaříková and Novotný win the silver. Brasseur, Eisler third, and Petrov moved from sixth into fourth place. Hough, Ladret ninth, and Wirtz make it 3 in the top 10. At the Oakland Coliseum.